It's the flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Get that bag.
Good afternoon and welcome to October 12th. Got Kyle here from Hive Mind, and we're here to talk about flipping land investing. Going to evaluate some properties, answer your questions, and we'll go from there. How's it going, Kyle?
Good, man. How are you?
Super tight. Appreciate you getting on with us today.
Yes,
been pretty consistent with at least one of you guys, sometimes multiple. So I really appreciate it. So the way we like to do this, we have properties that come my way, and we analyze those. We would analyze your property if you had one you wanted us to take a look at. And then we'll answer your questions on top of that. So anything you want to share, Kyle, before we get into it?
No, it's just, we're ready to look at anything and kind of help you guys out and getting into this space and, anything we need to do.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to, if you want to start with the one in Timpson, I think I'm saying it correct, Timpson, Texas.
Yep. All right.
Yeah, you can share your screen when you're ready. Oh, I forgot to set up Instagram. I'll do that really quick. Also, guys, make sure you like this, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll give you info on Hive Mind's info also. All right, here we go. Boom. All right.
We'll pull up the Zillow. And I'll pull it up on Land ID as well.
Okay.
All right, so it's 119 acres for 97. Has a house on it, which is pretty large, and some barns and some other structures. So these are like compounds for people, essentially. First thing I'm going to look at with this one is I've never heard of the city or the area, so I always zoom out to kind of see where it's at. So it's super east Texas.
Yeah, the student that sent it over, he said it, and I shared with them what you shared with me yesterday. It says 20 minutes from Walmart, so I'm not sure which town that's in. I guess it wouldn't be hard to see on Google Maps or whatever. So
I'm sure it's one of these. It might be. This looks like a little bit bigger of a pocket. It's probably this over here. So first things I'm looking at are just kind of the general population in the area, how far we are from somewhere with a big population, because essentially that's where your buyers are going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Your buyers are going to be where larger populations are going to be.
Okay.
So we're probably about an hour to Tyler and Longview. There's a decent population there, but it's not large like a Dallas Fort Worth or a San Antonio, Houston, Austin, kind of like in this Texas triangle over here. So not a massive population out here. That's the first thing I'm going to look at over here. The second thing I'm going to look at is market activity. So I like using Redfin. And I'm just going to check what's available and what's not available. So we're I just want to just lock my screen. Let's see. There we go. I just started resharing. You might have to reshare mine. There you go. Yeah, so first thing to look at is market activity. So this is Timpson over here. I'm going to look at for sale, and based on the shape of it, looks like we should be able to do 10-acre lots. We should be fine there. So I'm going to look anywhere between, let's do for land, filter for land. And then I'm going to filter anywhere between 5 and 20 just to see what land's going for, just as land. So we have 17 acres for 800 or 9,000 an acre. That's off the highway. There's not too much happening right here. 11.65 acres. 24 days on market. Dirt roads. So I'm also looking at road type to see what's available off of paved roads too. And then I'm looking for sold stuff. Not stuff. Let's look for stuff as well. So in the general vicinity of this Timpson area, you have a few sales, but not too many. This one's off the highway, 11.19 acres. It was listed for 160, and it can even show pending, and it just sold in about 5 months or so. That's off the highway. So let's see. $16 acres, less than 10,000 an acre. But I'll take a whole year. Or I don't know what happened here. That's funky. So I want to say they're probably fairly priced for the land, if not maybe a little bit above retail. But you have a house, and they have to try to put the value on the house, which can be hard at times because you have so many upgrades and different things. So essentially, you could take a 10-acre lot like this, essentially cut into where all those structures are. So I'm going to look at aspects of 4,800 on 10 acres. So I'll still keep it at 5 to 20 acres. I'm going to go back to for sale. I'm going to do 3+ or let's see what pops up. This is why it's tough to run numbers when it's rural. There's not much happening.
Yeah, if I was gonna evaluate the house, I just would want to. I wouldn't worry about the beds and bath per se. I would just look at just what's for sale, right, and compare. Just houses in general. If they're larger, then you can adjust somewhat with the square footage. Beds and bath are more of an amenity. The appraiser normally just going to do a price per square foot or whatever. So,
yeah, when there's a lot of individual upgrades like this with pool, then
it's just hard to put a number on it.
Yeah, it's hard to put an exact number on it, but you can kind of guesstimate. So it's going to be 10 acres. Here's something that's been listed for $650 on 9 acres, the 4,300 square foot, outdated like ours, has a pool like ours. So this is a good for sale comp, only 37 days. So it doesn't tell you if that's something that's willing to trade for.
Yeah. But see, I would automatically, okay, so they're listing for $649. I'm assuming I could get 400, you know what I'm saying, for as
right.
is, so that's why I would look at it anyway. So
no, exactly. So here's a 3.2 mobile home. it sold for 100,000 on. I'm just trying to see how many acres it is, just to get an idea of the acreage. Because even that's pretty cheap for a mobile and for mobile and land and acreage. That's pretty dang cheap.
5 acres.
6 acres, for 100 grand. That's cheap. Just to get an idea. And then let's go a little bit further back. We have to go a whole year for this market. There we go. Let's go back a little bit more. Here's a 2,500 square foot on 10 acres. And it was outdated. No pool. Some structures, though. Some sheds. And this sold for active, price change, pending.
Yeah.
So 350. Ours is a little bit bigger, has a little bit more upgrades. So you might be able to get, 350, 400 for that house to, kind of fire sale it.
Yeah.
So essentially, we still have
587, 487, basically.
So let's minus 987. That's the listing price.
400.
Yeah, minus 400. That's 587.
Divided by what?
Divided by 109 acres.
Yeah.
Essentially, that's 5,300 an acre. If retail's around 8, then we have about 3,000 of margin. Since this has been listed for 300 days, definitely going to try to negotiate something, either a discount or terms. I'd rather get a discount on this with some time. So I'd maybe make an offer around 500,000 with 180 days to close or something like that, or 50 days to close. And see if I can sell the house while we're under contract, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Type style. And essentially that can cover almost the whole purchase price. If we were to get it for 500,000, 600,000, essentially you're covering a massive portion of the purchase price if we're selling that house for 350 to 400. So that's essentially, and then this is why I like the land game is, yes, we're buying 119 acres, and essentially they're almost at retail value for the land itself with a house on it. So you can literally essentially can get a free house with the land. And that's why I like the land game, is essentially you can get free houses. It happens sometimes. Normally not this nice. This is a pretty nice house and structures and stuff. But yeah, in a nutshell, I would probably be somewhere around $500,000, $600,000 in an offer, and just kind of seeing how motivated they're getting. They've already been on the market for 300 days, so they're either really motivated or they're just the type of seller that's willing to sit and wait for the offer.
All right. So I'm just going to note that here. Right. All right. So up next, I guess, is Bville, 105 acres.
Yeah, so Bville is it's pretty rural. It's by Corpus. Let's see. Yeah, it has an address. I love when the land has an address.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
It really does. So this one's showing 105 acres. So is it multiple parcels? Or is it this one? It might be this one.
What I got on the sheet? It's multiple parcels. If you go back to the sheet, you can see what I designated.
Let's see if I can find it here. The address isn't pulling up right up for me.
Hold on, I can pull it up. It's 105.
I don't know if you saved this one, but
I did. The name is Fuentes. Last name Fuentes.
Fuentes.
Yeah.
I might be able to find it off the owner name. This is B County.
Yeah, you if you'll go back to the sheet, you may be able to recognize it from there. Not the listing, yeah. So yeah, it's laid out right there. I can send you the land ID link also.
There's a lot of Fuentes in this county.
Juan. The address next door to it is 3536 Coley Lane. 3536 Coley Lane.
How do you spell that? C-O?
C-O-L-E-Y. 3536. Yeah, so it's those parcels there. It's that one. Yeah, well, you see his name, so yeah.
It looks like there's a structure on this one. Is it not listing it here?
Did it? I thought it did. Does it 10 minutes from Bville?
Because it looks like it may have a home on it, like a pretty nice home.
Yeah.
Unless they're not selling, unless this is either the wrong parcel or.
Let me go back to that. Let me see. Let me summarize it really quick.
Because sometimes the owners will cut the home out. Yeah, because this one doesn't look like it has any trees on it, and the listing looks like it might have some trees on it.
Yeah, for some reason it's not listing. It says includes water well and electricity to an old house. I guess the house is just there. It's there, but it's just, I guess, old or whatever. So.
Oh yeah, they have a tear down house. There you go. Let's see. All right, so 105 acres, that's 5,000 an acre. Essentially for land over here, we're selling something over here around 4,000 an acre, but it's still kind of moving really slow. So I'd say we need to be at least 50% of this for cash. It also depends. I think this is a paved road. But normally, if you have Google Street View, you should be able to tell. But it does come right off a highway. Yeah, it's paved. But normally, if you also have Street View, it's a good sign that you have Google Street View. You can kind of walk around and you can look at some stuff. So first thing, we're going to look at comps again and look at activity in the area. Same filters. Where they're going to look for sale first and kind of see what our competition is, because again, we want to be under our competition for 10-acre lots and everything like that. There's only one side of frontage here, so I think this is going to be too deep for 10-acre lots, or it's going to be cutting it close. I'll create a map and kind of show it. I don't know why it's freezing like that. Is that it? It's not that corner piece, right? That is that corner
No,
piece.
that for some reason that corner piece is not identified.
All right, that's fine. I can see it based on the boundary. All right, so let's just measure it out real quick. So that's already pretty big. This is already 10 acres right here, essentially. So we might have to do, yeah, we might have to do like 20-acre lots here. Because essentially, if we did 10s, it'd be half of this. They'd be really skinny, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, this is something we're going to have to do 20s with. So I'm going to change my filters. And normally, when you're doing bigger lots, you're going to have to get your purchase price down, so you can essentially get your sale price down too. Because the bigger you go, you can't really run the same numbers as if you're running as a 10-acre comp. So I'm going to do 10 to 40 acres to kind of catch like 21-acre lots and 19-acre lots and stuff like that. So this is a 25-acre flag lot. I don't even want to look at that really. I do want to see how long that's been sitting though. 116 days, 6,000 an acre. That's really high. I don't even want to look at that. This is 11 acres. So there's still not much over here. This is near Corpus area. There's not much happening over here right now, Corpus area. There's a 10-acre lot. 10-acre lot. Yeah, because we have stuff in, we had something over here in Sinton that moved really slow, and then we had something in Orange Grove. Right now we have something that's moving really, really slow. It's a little bit closer to Corpus too. But let's look at sold too. So it looks like this little pocket has some stuff going on. I don't know what it is. So 27 acres.
That's $10. Oh, $9.
Listed, pending, sold pretty quickly. So 217, 440. Let's say hypothetically, they got a little bit of a discount because it's a non-disclosure state. 200,000 divided by 27.18, essentially 7,300 an acre. There's a couple comps right here. They're all around the same
size.
Try to see if I can catch anything like over here, over here, over here. This little further north. This shouldn't be a bad comp either. So listed in July, pending. This is pretty far back now. We're all the way back in 2023. So 158 went pending in a month. This is a different market back then. You know, it wasn't an election year right now. But 18.35. That's 8,000 an acre. Again, we're selling something for pretty darn cheap. A little bit further south. So I want to use my best judgment and say this is worth about 5,000 an acre. So they're at retail. It's been listed for 123 days. There is an old teardown house, so there is utilities on, and we will have one lot that will have utilities, which is nice. But it's not going to increase the price that much. I would throw an offer about half of this to kind of start the conversation and kind of go from there.
Okay.
Just to see if they'll entertain it.
All right. Okay. Offer 250. All right. What's next? Childress, Texas, 118 acres.
All right. So one thing I'm already going to point out on this one is based on your photo here. Maybe I can expand it. Trying to zoom in. So this one's on a state highway, on a U.S. highway. We have one off of a direct highway right now, and it's hell, to say the least.
Really? Okay.
It's tough because they have a lot of jurisdiction over this area.
Okay.
And on those roads, they have a lot of jurisdiction. There's a lot of nuances, there's a lot of rules, laws, and regulations. They might make you do a whole right-hand turn lane. So normally, you know, if you look at like land ID, you look at a normal road, people get driveways off of normal roads, right? You see like these driveways here, driveway here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Different driveways, right? So something on a highway, they might make you construct a whole right-hand turn lane to essentially get off the highway safely. Because especially if, let's look at it actually.
Because you're trying to put all those lots on one.
Yeah, because if you're trying to put all those lots in, they're going to be like, well, you're going to have to put in a right-hand turn lane for them to safely, you know, get and exit traffic.
Mm-hmm.
The speed limit here is 70 miles an hour. You know, someone turning off the highway at 70 miles an hour to a driveway, like they're not going to be able to do that. So essentially, that's what they're trying to make us do on our other one. They're trying to make us do a whole right-hand turn lane for 2 miles because the ranch is 160 acres. So that's one thing that would immediately disqualify this for us, is it being off of a major highway. Now, if it was off like an access road, so that like in Texas, there's like access roads on the highway. I don't know if this one has it, but you might be able to see it. Well, a lot of the times there's like access roads. They're called like access roads. I'll kind of zoom in over closer to San Antonio. See this access road? See, the speed limit might be a little bit slower there. You can kind of see it. You can see people are getting driveways off of that, right? So people are getting direct driveways off those access roads, but they may not be able to get driveways directly off a highway like this because it might be 70 miles an hour. Imagine trying to slow down with a semi truck behind you going 70 miles an hour just to turn into one of these driveways.
Yeah.
So essentially that's the way the TxDOT looks at it. They look at it from a safety perspective. They're like, okay, can someone safely pull into here? So that's why all these access roads, people are able to get those little driveways off of it. But let me see if I can find an example. There might be an example where essentially, well, that access road goes all the way down this highway. But we have one over here by Tyler. And you can see it's just a state highway. And it gets really thin by where our property is, which is right here. This is our property. It goes from 2 lanes. It goes from 2 lanes, I think, where is it? Way back here, it goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane. It's a 1-lane highway. It's super funky. and it's a 70-mile-an-hour one-lane highway. So essentially, they want us to do a whole right-hand turn lane here, construct a whole right-hand turn lane for them to safely get off onto the property. But you can see over here where it's 2 lanes. You see how this is 2 lanes now?
Yeah.
2-lane highway. Essentially, now they're allowing them to get driveways here. So it's very nuanced. So one thing when I'm looking at a deal, it's like how difficult is this going to be? It's going to be super difficult to where we have to go through all these different things, because it's essentially what we're trying to do, right, with this 10-acre subdivide is escape all the laws and regulations and rules safely and legally. And essentially, when we're doing stuff like this, we're just going back to headaches of a deal. It's like they just become headaches, nuances, and a lot of different parties are getting involved there. So it's something that we don't want to do, and start to pile up deals like that, because it takes a lot of time and effort to talk with different state officials and everything like that and try to get things approved.
Okay.
That's something that we kind of discussed actually in the last 2 weeks. It's like for now we're not doing one off the highway for a long time, if not ever. So that's something that right off the bat disqualifies that in my head. But that's a really good learning point, and it kind of shows you from an engineering standpoint on why these things happen, because you can literally see in real time that no one's really getting driveways off of a 1-lane highway, but people are getting them off a 2-lane highway. There's a lot of different regulations. You never know what TxDOT's going to throw at you. And even before we got this property under contract, we had reached out to TxDOT and we had been asking them, hey, because typically you have a driveway, it's called driveway spacing. What's the distance between driveways where people can safely pull in? They can't be like right next to each other. That's dangerous. Essentially, it depends on the speed limit and the certain distance that you need. So for example, it was 70 miles an hour. The guy said that he didn't say anything about a right-hand turn lane. So we're like, okay, we just need the safe distance between driveways. He said we need 425 feet between driveways. And so we kind of drew up our subdivision plan that way. And for TxDOT to final approvals to give us driveways, we finished the subdivision plan. We sent it to them. We're like, hey, we're ready to get the permits for the driveways. And they said, no, we want a whole right-hand turn lane. And we were like, well, we did the driveway 700 feet apart. We did it way further than you guys wanted. So why do we need a right-hand turn lane? He goes, it's a 1-lane highway. We need a right-hand turn lane. I said, we asked you guys 5 months ago if there was any issues with doing that. And essentially that's why we're trying to avoid stuff like this, because there's a lot of nuances behind it. But,
okay.
Yeah, that's a good explanation for. I'm not sure if does that make sense to your head, Ty?
Oh yeah. Most definitely.
Perfect.
All right. Crest next.
Oh, nice. You wrote it down. Perfect, man. So look at Crest, Texas. All right. 143. Ah, that's cheap acreage. Get the. I should be able to find this one right off the bat. Just about Crest. This parcel right here. Under 43 acres. Yeah, there you go. So first thing I want to check is this within the city limits? This is a little city right here. And it doesn't look like it, which is good. Maybe a little small portion. So first question I would have before even making an offer on this property is calling this little tiny city, which, man, I don't even know if Crest, Texas.
It's between, I think it's between Amarillo and Lubbock. It's on whatever major highway that is close to that, I think.
Yeah, so essentially, this is such a small town. There might be one person that handles everything. So if you go to their website and you go to government, I mean, you might even be able to call the mayor. And yeah, like you literally call the mayor in this town. Isn't that crazy? Like if you try to call the mayor in Orlando, like you can't just call the mayor in Orlando, you know?
No.
You know, if you try to call the mayor in Crest, Texas, you'll be able to get in touch with them. But essentially, you want to go to government. Typically, you want to go to, it normally says like, they might have a general customer service number and they'll be able to direct you. Yeah, so I would come here, I'd call their general number right here. You might get a receptionist and just say, hey, I have a property I'm looking at. And it looks like a portion of it is within, you know, your city limits or ETJ, a very, very small portion. Are you guys going to have jurisdiction over that, or is the county going to have jurisdiction over that? Because a lot of the times, and it is a small town, they can still put restrictions on you. Like, hey, if you subdivide this into X amount of lots, you're going to have to do a replat to build any houses, which, you know, it's not a huge deal, but it's still something to know about before you even make an offer on a deal to understand expenses and difficulty of the project. So that's the first thing I would do here is call, because the price seems pretty dang good. And it's crazy because the taxes are $34 an acre. But yeah, that's something I would do. First things first is call the city and make sure that they have jurisdiction, or if the county has jurisdiction. Because you see that tie where a little bit crosses into our boundary over here. So that's the city limit line. So we have one down into the valley in Harlingen, and essentially it's within the city limits, or actually it's more of their like ETJ. And you can see it literally says boundary making a city's legal extent and jurisdiction, excluding areas beyond it. So essentially the city said we can subdivide it, but if we subdivide it, even though we meet the state minimum requirement, the city says, yeah, since you guys are within our jurisdiction, if you guys subdivide it any further than 2 lots, and someone wants to build a home site, essentially you're gonna have to do an entire replat on the property. So essentially no one can build a house until we replatted it and did more nuances and worked with the city and try to get approvals. And that's essentially what we're trying to avoid, as opposed to when you're in the county, they don't really care what you do. It's very minimal to any jurisdiction that you're gonna have. And as you can see, there's so much land out here. But yeah, that's why we kind of avoid speed limit stuff, but it's still worth the call because they're such a small town.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing I would do there on that one before making an offer.
Okay.
They say, oh no, we have jurisdiction. You're not going to be able to do anything here unless you do a replat. You know, then it might be difficult.
All right. Canyon, Texas, next, 176.
So on your thing here says 440 acres. Is that?
Yeah, I was confused on the listing because that parcel shows 440, but it says 760 on the listing. So, I mean 176. My bad.
I guess they surveyed a piece out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't show. Of course, listings can be terrible, though. You know how they can be.
Yeah.
So it doesn't show what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had to figure out.
I guess it shows this part right here. So essentially.
Yeah, I had to figure it out. It took me a minute to find it. So I guess it's just that, like I said, it's just that part right there, which would be cool, I guess, because it's not that deep either. So.
Yeah. So I don't even know where this is. Slave, Texas, or Slave. This is near that Lubbock area.
I thought this was the Canyon. Let me see. Yeah, it's Canyon, Texas.
This one's not that far out from Armillo.
Yeah,
because Armillo is pretty like dense. There is a lot of stuff happening here.
mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you're just gonna have to get this really cheap because I mean this is already cheap. One thing I would say is it looks like there's some sort of old structure here. That's I'm pretty sure that's a house well right there. I would check. First thing I'm checking is on the photos. Is there power at the street? I'm trying to see if there's power on the property. So that's one thing I'd ask the agent. Hey, is there power on this property, or the lines at the power poles at the road? Because that's going to be important. And then it looks like she had the filter on her land ID, but there should be water wells here. One thing we do is we typically.
It says electricity available on the north side of the property.
Okay, so that's at the street. If that's the north side of the property. If you're facing from the back. Yeah, so that's one thing I'm going to look at. And then second is look at it. So if it's in Canyon, Texas.
I can give you an address next door to it. Let me pull it up.
I think there's one right across the street over here.
Okay. What was that? 176. You can use 13210.
Let's see.
West FM, so WFM
0.
set 13210 West FM 1705. So at WFM. And Canyon, I'm sorry, Canyon, Texas.
Let's see if that shows up. The address didn't pop up, but let's see.
The zip is 79015, if that helps.
I might be able to find it just off of it was West FM. Yeah, because that didn't pop up on because I wanted to show.
Yeah, it's if you're looking at the freeway and you see 87 splits off to it to the west going north. Looking at Freeway 27, Interstate 27, then you can see the name of the street is West Dowling Road.
Oh, here we go. This should be it then.
Yeah, and it intersects with.
There you go. It's right here.
Okay.
So first thing I want to look at too is who has water wells. It's good that you're starting to see some home sites in the area. That's good. It doesn't mean it's super rural. It is rural, but it's good news that you're seeing some home sites here. One thing I want to look at is water. Typically you can see water wells in the area. That's that filter she had on here. And water is super important. So 215 well depth is not that deep. That's good. This was done a long time ago though. So that's something that I like to do is I'll find maybe one that's a little bit more recent. If I can find one on well. So this is 2019, right? So one thing I'm gonna do is try to find who did this well. That's the owner of the property. Here we go. So one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call that well company, Curry Drilling Company. They did this one in 2019 at a depth of 195, which is not that deep. So that's good. That's good, meaning your water's probably not that deep. But I would call them, get a quote. Hey, how much is a water well here? Because we're gonna use, like, if we lock it up, that's something we're gonna use for our marketing. Hey, Curry Drilling Company can get you a well for $15,000, $20,000. But it's a good sign that this was done in 2019 and it wasn't that deep. It means there's probably water here, so there's a water and electric, which is good. And then after that, it just comes down to the numbers. So we'll look it up. So Canyon, Texas. Let's look up Armillo. 15 acres, 195. 10 acres for 80,000 right here. 58 days on market, no mobile homes, so you have restrictions. That's a bad sign for a comp. I don't really want to use that. Here's a subdivide right here. So they're selling it at 10,000 an acre. It's been on the market for a while, so owner financing is available. So that tells me they're way too high. Unless they started selling. Something else you could see too is, like, let's see if they sold some lots here. So now we can go to sold. Have they sold anything here in the last year? Ten-acre lot. A lot of slow here. 7,500 an acre. After they changed to 7,500 an acre, went pending. So let's say retail 6 to 7K. Maybe we sell ours at 50 to 60,000 for a 10-acre lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's listed at, so we're listed at pretty close to retail. So yeah, normally even the estimate's got that thing low, but I would say half of this, again, half of list price is kind of be your buy price there.
Okay. All right. Okay, here's the one we talked about a little bit this morning, Mexico. Messia?
Actually, funny enough, it's pronounced Mahia.
Mahia, okay.
Yeah. And the reason why I did that is we have one here actually right now, and I'll show you guys our property. We're actually selling a second lot today. We're signing a contract today. We have one over here that we already bought. We already sold one lot. Actually, this is sold, so let me change that. And then they're buying number 3 today for 130. And then we still have a second lot, but it's in Mahia. So that's about an hour and 10 minutes south of Dallas, 40 minutes to Waco. I don't remember exactly where this one is. I remember you sending me this morning the
Yeah, let me give you an address on it. How many is it? 198.
So I should be able to find it off the parcel ID.
Oh, I gave it to you. That's right. Yeah.
Actually, let's get out of the map first. I hate when it does this. 7921. I guess it didn't show up properly, but I can do it off coordinates too. Actually, coordinates is the best way to find stuff on Land ID.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've never even used it before.
Yeah, coordinates is the best way to find it because it goes off a satellite.
Okay.
See, it pulls up right to the middle of it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you said there's
Yeah.
front here, but it's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that road goes all the way down. Yeah. I'm assuming if they label it county road, it's platted, right?
Yeah, if it's county road, it's county road. That's super interesting, though.
Yeah. It goes all the way down.
I'm actually going to see if it has Google Street View.
Nope. Don't look like.
So I think it's dirt road. Dirt road's hard to sell. But I'm trying to see how far it is on a dirt road. Like if this thing's like, I guess Maha is right here still, but how far? I guess we're off the highway right here. What are they listed at again? Is it the listing tier, right?
Yeah, 1.1.
Oh, that's not this new. There's a bunch of old home sites on it too. Curious what she means by community water.
Says community water in place ready for further development.
So they got a driveway. They literally got a driveway off of this county road right here. So you got street view all the way up. So just trying to see where everything leads to. It's a good location. That
The dirt road.
yeah, the dirt roads throw me off a little bit, but right now I think it's at like 5,000 an acre, pretty close to 5,000 an acre. Yeah, it's 6,000 an acre. This one I would see if they're interested in the seller financing 10% down or just see if the first thing I always ask is, hey, are you guys interested in seller financing?
Okay.
And if they say no, then we go back to the drawing board. But my guess is we're probably going to need this for, you know, 4,000 an acre, and we're going to have to sell it for a bit cheaper because that dirt road is going to hurt us a little bit. It's going to hurt us quite a bit. Even though it's not far off of a dirt or off of a paved road and everything.
Okay, so the max would be what, 800,000?
Yeah, if that's around 5,000 an acre or 4,000 an acre, then yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Let me see this too. I'm curious where this stuff's being paved at, or if they just never did street view. Maybe it is paved. This could be paved. Could be good to ask the agent too.
Okay.
I'd ask the agent, and that will determine our offer too. So Ty, I would have your student get back to us on that one. If this is paved, or at least 971, is that paved or?
Okay, actually 971 is paved. Okay.
It looks, oh look, so here you see how it kind of changes a little bit. So I would say 981 is probably not paved, but this 971 could be. But the agent will probably know if she's local. She's been out to the ranch, which I'm sure she has. She might know that might be a paved road, which could make or break the offer. If it is paved, it could be a deal at what it's listed at.
Okay.
We'll just have to come up with terms and stuff. But there's no. Sometimes they'll have like satellite imagery of the. That might be paved, bro. You can kind of see it, but it's a good question to ask. Anyway.
Okay. That was 198 acres. Okay. All right. Meridian. Let's see.
200 acres.
Do you have an address? Yeah.
I want to say it's this one, but
see how I cut it up? I don't know if you looked at the map. Yeah, see it? Yeah, I just say, well, can we best buy a portion of it or whatever? So, but anyway.
So I don't. This portion in the back is tough because you know it's already pretty deep. The two sides of frontage help here.
Mm-hmm.
Like let's say if it was
Just all
here, it'd be okay.
Yeah, that's why I left the flag lot. You know what I'm saying? I say, can we just buy a portion of it?
Yeah, I would ask them.
Yeah.
Ask them if you could, and then if we could leave an easement for them to access the back portion.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I would ask. Pretty sure those are dirt roads. Comes off the highway though. Where's this at too? This is a good area. It's not too far from Cleburne.
Yeah.
It's probably about an hour. This is a decent area. What's this listed at? 2.1. Might be a little high, but for the dirt roads. But the area is pretty good. Yeah, I would see if they could cut out the this monthlies with the farmer. I would see if they could cut out that portion.
Mm-hmm.
And we can essentially leave them an easement to access it.
Yep.
That portion has some flood in it too, or it has some sort of surface water drainage. But yeah, that's something I would ask on that one right off the bat. If they say no, then I don't think this is something that
Okay.
I'll have to measure out this portion because what was the
Well,
portion?
I measured it out. Now I gave them a little more than an easement, right? So I
that would work.
Hmm?
That would work right here. What you have.
Yeah, I gave them a little more than an easement, so so they can, if they want to sell that, obviously they can still sell that, because people buy those, obviously, and it will still have some good road frontage. So I was just looking.
Someone would eventually buy that.
Yeah. So I'll note it here to see if they'll sell the portion. Okay, cool. Getting a little better. Okay.
Yeah, Hamilton. We had one over here, dude. There was no activity over here, man.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was dead over here. Anything typically west of Waco, dude, it just gets it gets dead. It gets pretty rural.
Okay.
And activity gets slow. Although it's not like super far from Waco or anything like that, but it's just for some reason, man, it just doesn't move well. It's super slow.
Slow area. Okay. Slow area. All right.
It's cheap though. I mean, looks like they even did a price increase, which is weird.
Yeah, I saw that.
It even went pending, which is funky. Yeah, it's just it's tough out here. It's tough out here over here in west of Waco. Let's see, 2 million. I want to see what they're listed at. Divided by 329.
Okay.
Yeah, they're high. They're high here. I think over here you might have to sell things for like 4,000 an acre, and you're on a dirt road too. It's gonna be tough to move it. Even at a cheap price, it'd be tough to.
Okay. All right. You see this one in Happy? Is it Happy? You only got 2 or 3 more. Okay. Yeah. In Happy, Texas.
Is this off of because this is off a highway here? Is it does it have a okay, we got the frontage road, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good sign.
I didn't even notice that. That's why I cut it off like that. If you see my image, I was like, we just want the portion where it has road frontage. But I didn't notice the road frontage right there, like a service road, I guess.
Yeah, that service frontage road, dude, is paramount to getting access to these parcels.
Okay.
So this one does not have an address.
Let me see what I did on it.
And where's that I-27 leading to right into Armillo and right into?
Yeah, it should be between Lubbock and Amarillo. How many was that? That was 362, 562, 362, 362. The address you can use is, I think it's up here. You can use 2516 County Road 11, Happy, Texas. Or I could just put in the coordinates, I guess.
Should be this one, right?
Let me see what you got. Yeah, that's it. There's a couple of parcels there, but yeah.
Or is it this one? Let me see.
Yeah, it's that one there. That's the one I.
Okay, this one's big, 602 acres.
No. You know what? No, it's down a little more. It's
Or is it this one right here?
Yes, that one right there. It's those 3.
With these, let me put it. Oh, and you got county road frontage. I didn't even see that on the other one. Something like this, How big is this one?
It's 362 by itself.
Something like this would be maybe something to sell, like big parcels off of, and try to move big parcels.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see. So we can look at comps for big parcels. So 523 acres. Probably would leave this one as is, 88 acres. And then essentially we'd have to sell, this is 80 acres too.
That has to be more than 80 acres. Just looking at, if that's 362,
Yeah.
that has to be more than 8 acres.
It's going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
The boundary will give you a decent idea what it is. That's 258. This is probably going to be 200 or something like that. 165, and then this one's going to be like 50 or 40. 42.
The service road goes all the way up there to that small parcel too.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So I would probably split this one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd maybe split this one in half here.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of split this one in either 2 or 3, maybe just 2, and sell big parcels. Because it seems like an area that would call for big parcels. You could just, like, there's just so much land out here, man. There's not much happening out here. That's kind of why we don't look, and like you could just tell there's so much land. So stuff like here, like if you're on like in like a donut of Lubbock, so maybe like a donut here
Mm-hmm.
would be pretty decent, but you start to get into no man's land out here. You could just tell with all the little circles and land happening out there. It gets into a pretty rural place.
Yeah.
Your buyer activity is definitely going to slow down. So let's just look at Tulia. You kind of see for 5 to 10 acre parcels. Remember I was saying this might be an area for bigger parcels. So you can see there's nothing for sale. 5 to 20 acres. Now let's go minimum. Let's go no max. 40. So you got one here. It's 160 acres for 300,000 for 408 days. This is kind of like what I was for. That's $1,800 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, this becomes no man's land.
I got you.
And it gets tough. It gets really tough to move stuff out here.
Okay.
We could look at sold and see what we got in the last year. 329 acres for 448. It's 1,300 an acre. So that's probably retail. And what are we listed at here? It's 758, 350. Yeah, they're pretty close to retail at 1,450, 1,350 an acre. This would be one, Ty, that maybe we try out and we say, hey, look, it's like almost like an ovation style. We'll promise you $400,000, $500,000 in your pocket. You net that. We pay all commissions, blah 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 blah, whatever. And then essentially we try to move it for them. like a novation type of style where we try to market these large lots, but this is no man's land. It's going to be tough to move stuff out here.
Okay. All right. I think we just got two more. This one in Gerard, I guess it's pronounced.
Yeah, trust 80 acres.
Yeah, this one here was really interesting. Like, I think you looked at it, but
Oh yeah, I think is this the one near Oklahoma, right? Pretty far north. Or no, this one's still over here near Lubbock. Yeah, you might still be tough. It's gonna be tough over here, dude.
okay. Because that price, it, obviously something going on. Nobody snapped it up. But that's cheap.
Maybe they might be wrong here. That's crazy though. I would ask about this.
What, the price?
I would just say, it comes with the. Oh no, I mean they say it. They say it comes with it. This might be one to look into. That's it might be just worth it, But I guess it all depends on the comps.
Yeah. Yeah, because the house, I was thinking, damn, I said the house is worth that. That's what I was thinking. Close to it, at least half of it,
Yeah.
and 80 acres. So, ooh. Seems pretty flat, no water.
And it has utilities at the house on the house. That's nice.
Hmm.
I didn't even see that price at first. That's funny. And the house is right at the front too, so you might even be able to cut out a really small piece and have all your land left. Like even if you cut out a small piece and you sold it for 50,000-60,000 or whatever, you still get all that land to work with.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's kind of look at. Can I actually click one of these? It's annoying. Why is it not highlighting blue? But we'll look. Let's look. Let's look at 10-acre lots. Damn, there's not much happening over here. Let's see. Yeah, that's why it becomes hard to run numbers over here.
Well, let me ask you this, because Dan sort of said it last week, and you might can explain more. We looked at a couple of places where it wasn't a lot for sale. There was no inventory, and he looked at it as a possible positive to, maybe it just a lot of stuff doesn't come available, So
Yeah, I
yes.
but I said I agree with him to some point, but this is, I mean, you could just kind of tell there's not much happening over here.
Yeah.
Even if you look at sold property, and we'll not even look at house, we'll just look at any home type,
Any type of real estate, yeah.
Anything in the last, I'd say, year. There's some action happening here in Spur, but that's like a little town.
Mm-hmm.
There's some houses and stuff, but as far as like land and everything goes, here's like a little comp right here. This is 66 acres for 167,000. So I think that what comes down to this one is how much can that house sell for?
Mm-hmm.
And if that house can sell for, if I had to guess, maybe it depends if you're doing a 10-acre lot, maybe it sells for, I don't know, 70,000, 60,000, you know, somewhere around there. It didn't look like it was in terrible shape. It looked like it was in pretty good shape. It's okay shape. But then it comes down to finding those comps for that house, kind of putting a value on that, seeing what's for sale. Because here's a 4-1 house for 59,000. It's not a small lot, but there's ours. There's so much land up here. That's what's crazy. Yeah, I would say we could probably sell a 10-acre lot and a house for $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves us with 70 acres.
130.
For 130. So that's 130 divided by 70.
2,000, less than 2,000.
Yeah, 1,800 acres still. I would still say it's pretty close to retail. How long has it been listed? 65 days.
Kind of a decent amount of views.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, who doesn't want 81 acres with 108,000? I wonder if we could just sell it as is, a little bit higher, almost like a wholesale. But you know, sell it for like 280 or something. But I would say I need to spend more time looking at analyzing this thing for a little while. Like, it's not like this isn't going to be one where I can quickly kind of put a value on it. This might be one where I spend like a good 30, 45 minutes looking at what we can sell it for.
Okay. All right. Last one is in, what is that? I don't even know how to say it.
Falfurrias. I've never even heard of this.
Yeah.
So this one's off a highway too.
Is it like highway? Okay, yeah.
We got to make sure that if it doesn't have an access road, then you know we're gonna have to skip out on that one.
What is that then on the north side of it?
Looks like you might have one here.
Okay.
I can't tell, but I'll be able to tell on land ID, or I can come up here. Where even is this? Is this a reservoir land? Reservoir number 2.
It's not far from Corpus Christi.
Okay, yeah.
West of it.
Yeah, that's how much we don't look over here. I don't even know the road names over here, or not the road names of the cities or anything.
It has an address on it though. It should put it up.
This one does? Oh,
yeah, it's got an address.
Let's look at Google, actual Google. That might just be a shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. You can just tell, you know, you see cars speeding down this way. Does anyone even have driveways coming off the highway? You should be able to see. That looks like a driveway. So it all just depends on what TxDOT says. And a lot of these could have got grandfathered in too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where it happened in a while ago in the past, they allowed driveways, but
that's not even a platted road up there at top, right there up at the top, is it?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, that's
like it leads to it's either an easement or, you know, it leads somewhere. I don't really know what that is.
Yeah, it goes all the way into that other leg.
That might be a road. It looks like it goes all the way back.
But it's not, Google's not identifying it as a road though.
This one has a lot of flood too.
Okay.
You can tell with all the trees.
Yep.
There's a lot of water running through this property.
All right.
Yeah, you can tell. You can just look at where drainage goes by these little streams. You can kind of see it leads a lot into this property, and it leads a lot through over here. That's why this is so full right here. Yeah, there's a lot of runoff over here. I would skip this one. There's a lot of better opportunities out there.
Okay. All right. Boom. We just got 1 or 2 questions. I think we'll be good. Send a fire plug. I don't know what that means, Ed.
I don't know.
So who are usually we'll put it here on the screen. Who are usually your end buyers on these types of land deals where there's a lot of acreage in rural areas?
For the more rural stuff, like we were looking at today, it's still going to be more retail people than anything. When you get a little bit closer to cities like we normally do, normally about an hour outside of a super major city with 1 million people in it, like a Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio, Houston, we get a bunch of different buyers. We get retail people that are just looking for a home site. We get people that are looking to do mobile home or dump a tiny home on or a trailer. We got people that are just looking to do farming. We got people that are just looking to put their animals there. It really just depends. There's a range of retail buyers, builders, barn and Indian builders. It's really anyone that's looking to buy. So that's typically who our buyers are. Anyone that's looking to buy our land. It's not like fix and flipping where you're looking for a builder or a buy and hold guy, or if it's not really kind of like the smaller infill game where you're looking for builders and that's all you're looking for. You're essentially just looking for anyone that's going to sell here.
Oh, somebody answered it, but he said I just got on what software is the brother using. Land ID. Honestly, Lil J answered. Says we have a lot of old orchid land near me in Florida. Problem is leveling land would cost money.
Yeah, leveling land's expensive, and development's expensive. Anything development wise is going to take an enormous amount of capital.
All right. Okay, so I'm assuming you almost always list these on the market.
We always get verbiage to do really whatever we want as far as marketing. So like a lot of these, we're looking through listings here. We pick them off the MLS. So we get MLS verbiage. We get any sort of marketing verbiage. Our bread and butter recently has been with agents. So we reach out to agents and they'll have buyers. We'll post on Facebook ads, and we sell a lot of stuff owner financing. We'll get a lot of Spanish-speaking buyers or people without social security numbers that can't get any sort of financing. So we'll owner finance the land and sell the notes. Essentially turns into a cash position for us. But we do list on the MLS. We do list on the MLS. Almost everything we'll list on the MLS just to have like a reoccurring source of buyer leads. Not only that, we have someone that's marketing on TikTok for us. He's got a pretty good following on TikTok, and he's marketing on TikTok, and he's just posting videos. And actually, that Maha property that we own, that we just showed, that's where the second buyer came from. It came from TikTok video. So we market anywhere and everywhere to find buyers, kind of pitching the sizzle of owning that sort of product.
Boom. All right, boom. So, man, we put a good hour and some change in. Kyle showed up, showed out, and analyzed these properties. Some good content. We had a lot of different types of listings there. That it's a lot of different. It's just totally different from houses. Just stuff you got to pay attention to that makes a difference in being able to evaluate an opportunity with land or not, or not. So. Tell them how they can reach you, Kyle.
You can follow me, or you can friend me on Facebook, just Kyle Thompson on Facebook. You can reach me at kyle@texasranchflippers.com. And yeah, you can reach me there or on Facebook.
All right, boom. All right, guys. So I appreciate everyone that joined us today. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, share this. And thanks again, Kyle. And as I always say, we'll see you guys on the flip side.
Flip man, flip man. It's the flip man. Flip man, flip man. You want some money in your hand? Flipping houses without credit or your cash. Yeah.